Okay, where are we right now?
We are now in one of the luxurious area in Soweto in Deep Blue. It's called Deep Blue Phase 3 Extension, which
Okay.
was established in the late 80s when they were still negotiating the release of Nelson Mandela, to
Okay.
let the Black community who are able to buy their own land and build their luxurious houses as CEOs of bigger companies, entrepreneurs. Some of them, they've been rich since the mining industry. So these houses, they started at an amount of 125,000 rands. Today, they reign at about 2 million rands to 5 million rands. Most of these people, they've been politicians,
Okay.
including some of them are running small businesses, which are normally businesses that used to be catering for the Black communities when they were not allowed to live or to buy in the biggest supermarkets due to the struggle of apartheid.
Okay.
These are the richest people in our society, which is part and parcel of Soweto, because they didn't want to leave and go to the northern suburbs. They
Okay.
feel attached to their own surroundings where they know and
Which is
where there's
Soweto.
a friendly smile, which is the Soweto Township. But this area is known as Deep Blue Extension Phase 3.
I see the houses look very nice.
Yeah, these are the very expensive houses because when it started a very, very low amount. But because of the fight of the community, of the movement that started in 1912, resulted to make sure that people of color will get the power of sharing the land, which will be the part and parcel of where we're gonna see as we drive along Soweto, where we're gonna meet up with the Freedom Charter.
Okay.
Yes. And if you can see on the sides, there are school children,
Yes, yes.
which these are public schools, which normally are free educated schools, public schools in Soweto, where our kids can get education. But the challenge is there where they are living, where they are residing, because of if you're not living nearby, it's going to be difficult for you to be admitted in such a school. So they need people to be closer to the school. The high
Right.
school that we passed is called the Fons Luminas, and there's our primary schools or elementary schools, which are two in the very same area.
So you're saying the schools here are free, but are they free outside of Soweto? Because I always thought that you had to pay school fees.
No, we don't pay school fees. After 1994, our government has given a free education
Oh,
through the amendment of the Freedom Charter that was drawn in 1955, June 25 to 26, that people shall have equal rights and the education shall be open and culture and tradition to all the children of South Africa.
oh,
It's
that's
not like
nice.
it's not like in the northern suburbs where you have to pay in the private schools. These are not private schools.
Oh, okay. They're public and they don't have to pay. Okay, nice.
Yes.
I didn't know
So,
that.
yes, all of this surrounding, it shows you how people in our community are doing well for themselves.
Yes.
Even though the struggle has destroyed them mentally, because that was the only way to get rid of a Black person, by torturing their minds.
Mm.
But after the fight that they stuck to, we had people who managed to change their lifestyle, like the upcoming uh, bed and breakfast that was opened by an icon lady
So here it is
known
right
as
here,
Mama.
the bed and breakfast.
Yes, yes. The icon lady of tourism. She started as a guide a long time in the late 80s, I think 89 towards 90s. Her name is Mama Lolos. This was the first bed and breakfast to be established in this new suburbs of Soweto, which is called Deep Blue Extension. And she made sure that our visitors around the world could have a feeling of what is Soweto all about. It's not all about the hotels, but to live and stay with the people of the township. As we pass the Mama Lolos, as I explained, it's one of the bed and breakfasts that was established in the 90s. It's been mostly operational even today. Down the road on the left-hand side, it's where you find one of the most important house of our own former secretary of presidency who used to live here, who was uh, used to be under the leadership of President Thabo Mbeki after 1999. His name is Reverend Chikani. He used to live here. He used to encourage people to get into their own power.
Okay.
So Deep Loop Extension is more holding the lives of soccer bosses, including musicians of our country, most of the popular and famous people of our society.
Okay. Wow. So what are these structures on the side here?
Okay. The structures on the side, this is an 82,000 bed hostel dweller that was meant for mine migrant men who worked in the mines during 1886 until they were closed in 1977. The hostel dwellers were supposed to be shut down and been demolished, but it was taken over by the people who were living in shanty towns in Soweto, which are the informal settlement or the squatter camp. It doesn't have electrical supply. It doesn't have flushable toilets. They're using container bucket system toilets, but illegally they have electrical connection that is stolen from the colorful ones that are nearby them, which are the prepaid hostel dweller for those who can afford to pay a rental of 1,800 a month. So it's for prepaid water, prepaid electricity, but they don't want to go inside there because where they are living for free. They are paying non-rent. It's where you find taxi drivers, taxi owners, which are the rich people, because our industry is got one of the businesses that is not known as the taxi industry, which is very, very good in transportation, but dangerous to own because it's more like a gangsterism business. So the structure is being negotiated by the government, but difficult to remove the people. So the new ones, the colorful ones.
So how about these structures right here? What are these? These are different. These look different.
These ones are the ones that I say it's a rental prepaid apartments hostel dwellers, which is a new development, which
it's new.
They also, yes, it's new. They got electrical power. So the people who are living in the old ones, they had to be moved to the new ones, but because of prepaid electricity and prepaid water and rental, they don't want to do that. That's one of the things that makes these houses not to be occupied. Even today, as we speak, it's almost plus minus 24 years not being occupied because they don't want to pay rent. This is called Deep Loop Hostel Dweller. We are still in Deep Loop from the extension part, the very rich part, to this middle class part that we see, where the hostel is situated. So, including this government houses that we are driving in, which are the matchbox houses that were built during 1940s. Because Soweto, when it started as a shanty town when the people of color were shipped out of Johannesburg to be put on their own site, which started the segregation, which I always say, the racial issue about South Africa is not all about the color of the skin. It's because of the minerals that Black community people lived with, not knowing that they live in a wealthy land. That's why it was taken away from them. And they were segregated and put in a very small structure houses, which are about, they're about 40 square meters per yard, which is nothing, where it's only one drive car parking.
Okay.
So this society in Deep Blue, much as you drive, we are driving now. This is called the Zulu section.
Okay. The what section?
Because
Can you repeat that? What section?
The Zulu section.
Oh, it's a Zulu section. Okay, where we at now?
Yes.
Okay.
We were differentiated by our own tribal groups.
Oh.
Because when the Zulus and the Xhosas and the Swatis and the Ndebeles, they were classed as the Zulu people. So yes, so that they can get who you are. But today, because of 1994 democratic elections, everybody can live wherever they want.
Was Soweto divided by tribes during apartheid?
Yes, during apartheid, like my name is Rampai, they know that I'm Tswana. They will call me that I live in a Soweto section, which is a section of the Pedis, the Tswanas, and the South Soweto speaking people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's how, even today in our minds, when we travel, if I want to go to another section, I will never say I'm going to zone 6 or number 39. I'll say I'm going to zone 6 Zulu section, even though I stay around those premises.
Okay.
So that's the structure of these houses, which are the houses that I used to call them apartments because we were not entitled to own a house until late 1980s. People who couldn't pay rent, they will be kicked out of the house. That's why today we say Soweto stands for Soweto from now. You can imagine if you can't pay your electricity and your rent, they will kick you out of the house and put another family. When you come, you find your belongings outside the yard.
Oh, wow.
So we say it stands for Soweto from now. That's Deep Blue Zone 6. Driving ahead, as we're going to take a right turn, it's called the Old Posh Road, but changed its name to be attached to a political activist who was assassinated in April the 10th, 1993, known as Crisani. But the left-hand side yard is one of the biggest hospital in the southern hemisphere of Africa, before known as King George V Military Hospital, changed its name to Baragwanath, to a name of a wayside inn hotel owner. They wanted to change the name to give it to Crisani, but because of the rolling tongue and the mind of the Sowetans, they decided to attach the two magnets from two different worlds, a hotel owner known as John Albert Baragwanath and Crisani, and they call it Crisani Baragwanath Academic Hospital.
Now, where's the hospital? Did we pass the hospital?
We're still on the road. The whole yard on the left-hand side that you see, I think it's on your right. That's the yard of the hospital. I call it today the African Union Hospital because it also helps the Southern African country people who are struggling with medication to come and attend at the very same hospital. But on the right-hand side, where Jojo is pointing, is the largest taxi rank in Soweto.
Okay.
Or in Johannesburg, that costs about 10 million rands. These are different minivans that take people.
I see them around. Yeah, I've seen those vans all around Johannesburg.
Yes, they normally transport us to our work destinations, school destinations, going to Johannesburg. Those who are going to do window shopping in Johannesburg, they also travel in these taxis, but they go for different routes. So these minivans, we don't call them like in the States where you wave. You use a sign language, pointing up with your fourth finger, as I always say, carefully with your fourth finger, not the middle finger. It says Johannesburg. The taxi will stop for you.
Okay.
But when you drop off, you don't say the next block, you say second short left. The taxi will stop. And when you see the traffic light, you don't say the traffic light, you say robots. We call them robots because it's a different language from other worlds. These traffic lights are known as robots.
I was told that certain parts of Soweto doesn't have traffic lights. Can you explain that?
The certain parts of Soweto that didn't have lights, they don't have traffic lights, is because they are not as epic as Diepkloof, Pimville, Dobsonville, and other parts, because they don't have those shopping malls.
I was told they
You were
don't
told
have traffic lights because they steal the something in it. They would steal the
some of them. I was going about that. Some of them is because of we got a drug issue problem, because I saw on the notes, what about the drug issue problem? So most of the people, they steal the metal. There's a copper metal wire inside the same traffic lights. They steal it, and then they're gonna burn it and go and sell it. So the government is getting tired. So they leave them the way they are. And that's an issue that we are facing even now. We still have problem with that. But as we drive now, we left Diepkloof. We are in a place that is called Orlando Power Park.
Okay.
The left-hand side where you are sitting is known as one of the only Black universities situated in Soweto. It's called University of Johannesburg Soweto campus. Reason why, the European University in Johannesburg, known as Witwatersrand, was only meant for white community people, not for the Black people. So most of the students, they corresponded with the UJ, which was known as Rand Afrikaner University before, or Vista University, with Witwatersrand. And the right-hand side, where as Jojo is driving, or where we're not driving, is the cooling towers.
Okay.
The two beautiful cooling towers, which represent the electrical power station that supplied electricity from 1931 until late 1980s, only to the northern suburb of Johannesburg, not for the people of Soweto, but it is situated in the township of Soweto.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Nelson didn't want. The former president, or late Nelson Mandela, didn't want to get out of prison. He told them that shut this industrial electrical power station because it's affecting the people of Soweto.
So it's applied the power to people in northern Johannesburg, but it's sitting in Soweto, but it's not supplying the people in Soweto.
Yes, we use coal stoves, paraffin stove, candlesticks, until they gave us electricity late in the 1987, 1988,
Wow.
90, because while they was negotiating with Nelson Mandela. So we out of the Orlando Power Park. One of the crazy things about our township is that when you jump the street, you are no longer where you were. The left-hand side where you are sitting is called Pimville. Pimville is the name of a councillor that managed to educate the people to fight for their rights of their housing. And as Jojo is pointing to the right, it's a development youth stadium for soccer, for young people to play soccer, the under 11 until under 17, where we host our own youth development World Cup each and every year. But due to the COVID, it's been stopped.
Okay.
So driving along, The left-hand side is Pimville. The right-hand side is called Diaspora. Much as I say, Pimville is the name of Mr. Howard Pym, who educated the people to start negotiating the right to the title deeds of these houses in 1977. Then the area was called Pimville. But in Diaspora, it's where you're gonna come across one of the biggest shopping malls in Soweto that was built by a gentleman who was a fighter, an entrepreneur during the apartheid, known as Mr. Richard Maponya. He donated 460 million rands for the shopping mall to be opened, which helped many people with work, but knowing how the employers are working, they will bring their own staff from some other shops to come and work.
Is that on the right?
Yes, the mall is on the right, which is it's got the Vision Active because it was opened by two icons, which is Mr. Nelson Mandela, including Sir Richard Branson from the UK, the owner of the Vision Mobile and the Vision Active.
Okay.
Who also have established about 118 Vision Actives around Johannesburg and Soweto. So our population, because there's more of our population that we're talking about, we are more plus minus estimated 4.5 million people living in Soweto.
Mm.
The reason is because being in Johannesburg, it's where you get greater opportunities, where you can become an entrepreneur, better education facilities, more of getting jobs. But now because of this criminal activities and violence, some of the shops are closed due to the fact of the violence that we have, because the government has tried to support the Black business around Soweto, but because of they brought the wrong businesses, because I always say that you can't bring Woolworth in the township where people cannot afford.
What is Woolworth?
The Woolworth is it's a retail shop where they sell food and clothing. It's a high-end store. So they brought such shops which people cannot afford. And also the same stores, because of rental issues, they can't afford to pay something at their loss. So they had to move back to the northern suburbs. But we got people who can really afford to pay for those.
Right.
So we are out of Pimville. Now we are driving in one of the oldest informal settlement of squatter camp, known as a farm that is known as Klipspruitville Farm. That changed its name in 1903 to be known as Kliptown, where people are living in coronated iron houses, but managed to get an opportunity in 1999 when the former President Thabo Mbeki started a project of reconstruction and development program houses, which are known as RDP houses. There are more smaller houses. Maybe as we drive, you'll see some solar geysers, including the DSTV or the cable dishes around for televisions. This is Kliptown, very well known as an Asian farm, owned by the Chinese and the Indians. Because when I say the Black community, Indians were classed as the Black community. I call that the Black community. I say Black Africans, Black Indians, and colored people, which are the mixed race from the past of the arrival of 1652, when Bushmen ladies were raped by the Dutch. Yes, so they are known of the people, the colored people. The Chinese left due to the fact that they were afraid of the Y2K or the year 2000 coming. They said the world will end. But look on the right-hand side. Those are the apartments. These are the new development apartments where mostly the people who are living there, they are at the age of 21 towards, let's say 45 to 50 years of age, who are earning a salary of 8,000 to 12,000 rands, because a one-bedroom apartment costs about 2,800 rands. A two-bedroom apartment costs about 3,750.
Wow.
So they live there, they are working as IT students, some of them as technicians. But there are pillars in front of us. These are 9 pillars that represent 9 provinces of our country.
Okay.
Reason why I say that these pillars, they indicate, as we drive around the circle, there'll be another pillars that we're gonna enter in a very small parking area that represent the 10 points of the Freedom Charter, fighting for the rights of the human people of all racial color to be equal.
Okay.
Some of the law, they do apply because they are amended in our constitutional law. They do apply. Some of them are, or I always say they don't apply. People have gained the power of housing. Children have gained the power of education. But in the eyes of the law, the poor will be the poor. They will always gonna serve a longest time. I can do a typical example with 2 famous people of our country, which is the Blade Runner Oscar Pistorius, who got 6 years. Now he's serving about 13 years for killing his girlfriend. But there'll be another person who's serving a long years, a poor person for life imprisonment. So we are still in the very same area where the Freedom Charter was drawn.
Okay.
We are passing on the left-hand side, the very same building is the Home Affairs. It's active, people are working there. But as we drive along down the road, there's a Walter Sisulu Square of Dedication Museum, which was vandalized by the informal settlement people of Kliptown because of the promises of service delivery. So it's been damaged. There's no replacement because the government is afraid that they're gonna work on a loss, because today we have experienced that the money that is needed to fix that, it's all about 2.8 million rands to fix this. Well, this is the Walter Sisulu Square of Dedication that was vandalized by the community of Kliptown, which also is a part and parcel of one of the 4-star hotel as we take a left turn.
Is that the hotel?
In front of us is the Soweto Hotel. It's a 4-star hotel. It's still very much working, but it doesn't have much of a support because of people are not feeling safe because of the security around there, because of the informal settlement, and we still have people who are unemployed, who also regard the people who are living there as their own ticket to survival. As you can understand, when I say ticket to survival, they mark people who are visiting the hotel. So you take a turn now, we take a turn, there's a train station nearby, which is and look on the right and the far right, there's a monument.
Yes.
That monument, each and every year on June 25, 26, we come and light up the torch to honor the members of the Black community color who gathered in the very same area under Walter Sisulu as a Secretary General, to make sure that all people shall stand under the 10 points of the government. But there was one man that was banished from this meeting. Nelson Mandela was banished from the meeting because he was called a terrorist. So he was banished from the meeting, and he couldn't attend the meeting of the 3,000 delegates of that time.
Wow.
So you can imagine how sad it is, a man that we rooted so much around the world that was never respected by the past government, because the past
Wow.
government was afraid. The past government was afraid of Black Africans, because after this meeting, they separated us again from the Indians and the colored, telling them that they are not the same as the Black Africans. So Kliptown became colored Indian area. That's why you see, maybe you have read some of the shops nearby as we drive, with the Jadas, hardware and everything. Those are the Indian ownerships.
You're calling this section Cape Town, like in the city of Cape Town?
No, Klip is Klip.
Oh, Kliptown. Kliptown. Okay.
Yeah, Kliptown is like Klip is it's a stone town in English.
Okay.
It's Afrikaans. It's Afrikaans in a way. So these are the very same apartments that I talked about,
Yes.
where mostly young students are living, or young business entrepreneur, technicians, IT students, where they are living. It's the very
Right.
same area. And the thing is, after you've seen this, you're gonna drive down the road. We're gonna drive down the road and see a squatter camp, which is not in a healthier, safer area, because nearby the squatter camp there's a train, the railway, and on the other side there's a swamp.
Oh.
This is the bridge where the train is passing underneath, and then the squatter camp will appear as we're gonna make a very short stop.
Okay.
That is called the Kliptown squatter camp, the old Kliptown squatter
Right
camp.
ahead of us, what we're looking at right ahead of us?
No, on the side, it's on your left-hand side.
Oh, on the left, okay.
Yes. If you know the Oscar-winning award movie, Tsotsi, in
Oh yeah, I remember, I
Johannesburg,
saw that movie, yeah. Oh, this is a squatter camp, okay.
this is the squatter camp where they took the shot. That's where, and also the part and parcel of Sarafina was taken in from the very same area. So it indicates much of the struggle that we are going through from 1994 till 2022 to 2023. But driving straight ahead, it's where I call it a very delicate area for two unique nations, two unique tribal groups, which are known as Shangani and Venda speaking people.
Okay.
Which is called Shawelo. Shawelo is an old Shangani development area where the people used to stay.